Hey, welcome back to another epidose of these crazy people that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. I'm Tom. We got Joe Zumbo. We got Justin Justin Giebler. I think he's still alive. And back from the past, we've got Emily Penton. Haven't had much M time lately, but she's here. And today we're talking about how to stay active. Oh, could you guys hear that?
Yeah,
Yes, very much so. It sounds like being active. And while we have this distraction, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, make sure you hit that notification notification bell, and as well as we got a PayPal donation link down in the description. Support us so we can do more work and keep answering your questions. I'm gonna probably do this anyway, but you know, we have our hat out. We have hat in hand. It's all right, but no shame.
Doing our e-begging.
Yeah, e-begging. There you go.
Justin, it's not the end of the video.
Realize that.
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing it at the beginning. That's what you're supposed to do. And Justin's the only one that remembers.
That's great. That's
apparently I'm late for a drag race, so we better get going here. Anyways, yeah. So today we're talking about how to stay active. A lot of people have been locked down. And Joe has been doing some very inspiring training, even when he was locked in his bedroom for a couple of weeks. Emily's been ramping up her activities. Justin's been exploring the gym at his new apartment complex. And of course, I was talking about all the various things I do. But let's talk for a minute. Let's boil this down. We discussed this a little bit already. There's different personalities to address, right? And as coaches, we're well aware that some people want to rip that band-aid off, jump in head first, go cold turkey, and just start eating meat. They want to work out. They want some new activities or whatever right away. They want to do yoga, Pilates, weight training, CrossFit, bike riding, cross-country running, ultra
moshing, going to concerts and moshing.
That's right, moshing. But then there's some people that really need to ease into it. There's some people where everything's new to it. So I like to make the point that no matter what, the most important thing is to develop the habit. So if you want to develop a habit you don't have, you got to basically schedule it nice and tight for a month. And that'll work for a lot of people, right? You develop that habit by making sure. So how might we do that? So like Joe, how cycling outdoor a lot of times is kind of dependent on the weather, right? You don't want to go cycling in a hurricane, right?
No, you don't. I mean, it's pretty dangerous. Although yesterday I did go out for a ride and the roads were wet. It was quite windy. So it's just the mindset, you know, once you start seeing results, you just want to keep going with it, you know.
So the results keep you going. Now, tell us a little bit about your experience. You cycled with other people for a while, and then now you've decided not to, but joining a cycling group or something like that might be helpful for somebody who's getting started, right?
It can be, but you've got to keep in mind that you're training at someone else's pace, at someone else's ability at the same time as well. So you need to make sure you find that group, and it's a group that you enjoy riding with, because if you go out there and you're smashing yourself every ride, you'll end up hating it, and that's when you stop. You don't want that. So personally, I would say best to go out there on your own, and don't go out there and smash yourself. Just enjoy the ride, enjoy the moment, and then your fitness will pick up, and then you can join groups.
And if somebody's just getting started with something like cycling, how frequently would you suggest they try and start it?
How many days training? Oh, look, it depends. Depends on
how many times in a week for a newbie.
It depends, Tom. It depends on how busy they are. I mean, I would say maybe 4 days a week to start off with.
Like maybe every other day-ish.
Yeah, so I mean, you might do 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on,
Right.
1 day off, or 2 days off. Yeah, it just depends on your schedule and how committed you are to doing it. I mean, personally, I'm doing 7 days at the moment.
And Joe, how long have you been cycling again? How many years?
Yeah, so I've been doing it for probably close to 22 years, 23 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I actually didn't
yeah.
know it was that long. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
So you
Right.
don't even remember, like you were cycling in the womb basically at this point. So you don't even remember like the starting.
Well, I mean, that was when I took it up more seriously, but before I was always riding a bike, whether it be a mountain bike or a BMX. It was or just a race bike. I was always on the bike doing something, and then just got into it a little bit more, and to the point where I thought, what, I'm enjoying this. I'm going to start training properly. So I've raced, won a couple of races. It's good fun. I love it. I love the challenge. It's not like you're running up a hill and you're tired and you go, that's it, I'm just going to walk up it. When you're riding up a big hill or a big mountain, you just got to keep turning those pedals. So it makes you very mentally strong.
Yeah, well, I think he touched on the fact that he enjoys it, and that's one of the things. People need to find things they enjoy. Sorry to cut you off, Em. Go ahead.
No, I like what he said about, basically compliance, that if you push yourself too hard to start out with, then you're not going to have compliance. You're going to quit, So there's a balance to have, at the beginning of anything, to make sure that the ultimate goal is to continue doing it. Like, who cares if you knocked it out of the park for a week and then you don't do it again? Like, the point is compliance. The point is to continue doing something on a regular basis.
Right.
Yeah, when it comes to carnivore or working out, whenever I get the question of, oh, should I be doing OMAD or 2 meals or this, or should I be weighing that? I'm like, do whatever you can do for the longest amount of time consecutively as possible. That is the answer. Whatever's most sustainable for your life is the answer, to that question. And none of us, maybe one of us will just so happen have a schedule that works for you, but chances are 4 out of the billions of people on the planet and those that exercise, probably not. And so you're going to have to figure out your own way with your own schedule and your own goals and your own life circumstances of not just what exercises, but the timing and all that too. What, morning, night, after work, before work,
Mine has to be in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emily, why don't you sketch out how your activity levels have gone? They've kind of been accelerating or expanding a little bit, right?
Yeah, for the whole, first year of carnivore, I didn't work out at all, because I was already my body was already going through so much shock, and so many changes to break my addiction from sugar and carbs, that I didn't want to add anything else to it at that point. But then I got to the point where I wanted to, like, I felt a craving to move, and to lift, and just to work my muscles, and to stretch. It was just like I had this overwhelming compulsion to work out, which was weird, because you always think about, oh, I don't wanna, but I like it. Yeah, my body wanted to. And so I thought it was really cool that I allowed myself that time to get to the point where I wanted to. And then it was still slow. So I would say for that next year, I maybe was consistent for a few months, like, off and on. But it wasn't until January of this year that I was the most consistent that I've been. And what I do is, it's just an app on my phone. It's called Beachbody On Demand. and they have crazy amounts of different workouts. Like you can do low impact, you can do lifting weights, you can do yoga, you can do, crazy awesome, like cardio. There's everything there. And what I like is I do the morning meltdown 100, because then I start at 1 and I go all the way to 100 different workouts. And all I got to do is push play. I don't have to, get in my car and go to the gym. I don't have to time it for when the class is or when the gym is open. I roll out of bed. I work out in the kitchen because it's just the best area in my house, in my place to do it. And I just roll out my mat, get my weights, and I do it 20 to 30 minutes a day. And then I allow myself to not do it whenever I'm stressed, like whenever I have just way too much in my mind and I just need extra sleep, or I just need to take a minute. And I don't beat myself up because I've had so many months of success with it that I feel secure in that I'm going to keep doing it, and I don't freak out whenever I don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, like anything, you don't want to freak out. Like you're on a diet and you slip up, and we've seen a lot of people come across as seeming very distressed after that, and you're like, well, just get back to it. I mean, what else is there? You don't need the super antidote or something. You just get back to it.
Exactly. And I have, with Beachbody On Demand, I have a coach. And she's not like a coach, like she doesn't, I mean, obviously the videos tell me what to do. But she's like an accountability. And so what I do is I just screenshot my workout whenever it's at the end, like it says, you can tell that it's been 25 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. And I screenshot it and I message it to her, and just tell her like, that one was really hard, or I really enjoyed this one, or I send her a message and say, I didn't get out of bed this morning till, I had to go to work. So I like that accountability. I like to have somebody that I just touch base with. That helps me.
Yeah, I know. I got a lot of accountability just from using my Fitbit to track my sleep, because I think that's something you mentioned was, if you didn't get enough sleep, you skip a workout, right? And you work out in the morning. So, and that makes sense because you can only be successful with occasional or minor deficits in sleep, And a lot of people hear about a lot of people who are like really accomplished athletes, and they start falling apart, and then come to find out they just weren't sleeping enough, So it's easy to do. We're busy people. A lot of people have kids, jobs, rigorous schedules to keep up. And it seemed like for a long time, people sort of, patted people on the back for not sleeping. Like, oh, you don't need to sleep. You can make it. You'll be all right.
You can sleep when you're dead.
Oh my God.
Dead. The old Roadhouse scene, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. So I think, and then you got guys like Arnie saying, oh, you only need 6.5 hours of sleep. And I'm like, I think that depends on who you are and what you're doing, right? That's not necessarily the case. Just like saying everybody's got to drink 8 glasses or 10 glasses of water a day. It's kind of like, really? Because you could need a lot more, or you could need less, right?
And I think it changes on the circumstances, especially with being a woman with my menstrual cycle and stuff. Like, I mean, there's some days that I'm like just dead. Like I need extra sleep. And there's some days that I'm fine. Like I'm good on, 5 hours. So I think it's important to really listen to your body.
Yeah. Listen to your body for sure. So
I'm running at 5.5 hours of sleep and my body's screaming at me.
We can tell.
So Justin, give us a quick rundown on how frequently you're exercising, how you came to it, what your ambitions are.
Yeah, so thinking back on it, I've always kind of have been interested in fitness, like even as a teen, oddly enough. Doing push-ups. I remember like 13 and stuff. I ran cross country and track in high school. But unfortunately, when the migraines came around, I had to stop because I was pretty much exercise intolerant. It would cause me like a migraine the next day or the next 2 days. So for a good throughout most of my 20s, I basically didn't. I mean, I'd go out and walk a dog or go on walks, little hikes and things like that, but no like weightlifting or hitting a gym or anything like that. And so, and then, everyone knows my carnivore story, but 2019, go carnivore. I'm doing physical therapy because of car accident. And so I was getting a little exercise there. Not a whole lot though, nothing beyond that. And then about 7 months into carnivore, I'm out of physical therapy. And, I feel like they actually just so happened to be opening a gym by where I live when I was living in California. I sign up for the super duper ultra mega deal. And then I start going with a few people actually. And going to the gym, I know we kind of touched on this earlier, but going on the gym, like it kind of works in two ways. Either the person you're going with is more lazier than you, and so they kind of make you want to like drag ass at the gym, like totally like gold brick. It's like you do a set and you end up talking for, a half hour about some BS or something like that. Or, hey, look at those chicks with those tight pants and stuff like that. You know how they be. And then you, or you go to your friend who's like more hyper than you and like more pumped about it, but like he does exercises that you don't like. And so it's like, cool, you do your thing. I'm gonna be doing the thing that I like to do. And so, yeah, it's really touch and go unless you have like a really, really close friend. So like I had a friend who would challenge me, like he'd push more weight on me and more reps on me, and that was cool. And we kind of like the same machines and stuff like that. So that was fun. Like it can work out, but like if the fitness level is too out of whack, like either they're way beyond your level because they've been working out longer or way below your level because they hardly work out. You don't want to be someone's personal trainer and you don't want to feel like you're interfering with someone else's workout, And so everyone at the gym is like super self-conscious, right? Especially when you're starting out. And so, and for me, I had to become like, I was like gym phobic in the beginning, because I thought I'm a nerd, I'm a geek, like I've labeled myself, and that the gym is for like the jocks, the like big buff guys, and stuff like that. And like you just can't get intimidated. Yeah, you're gonna start out and you're gonna do some exercises wrong. I do it all the time. Just do lightweight so that you don't hurt yourself. And
yeah, key point: whatever you do, don't get hurt.
Right, exactly. That's rule number one for sure. But most people at the gym are cool and they'll come up to you and they're not trying to be rude or anything. They're like, hey, you're doing that exercise wrong, or hey, what are you trying to work on? And it can be intimidating. You can be really embarrassed and stuff like that. But it's much better for people to come up to you and tell you, hey, you're doing that wrong, or you're not going to get the effect you want, doing it that way. Rather than people watching you continue to make error day after day, week after week, and you end up hurting yourself or not getting gains, and then you get frustrated or something like that. And so I had to be acclimatize myself to the gym environment, because there is like a gym culture.
It's a new word. I like it.
Acclimate.
Acclimatize. There you go.
Acclimatize
myself to the gym environment. So I totally get, like, I've been there, I've done it, and I'm not saying I'm more comfortable in the gym now, but I'm not like walking in there like I know what I'm doing 100% of the time.
Right.
For sure, I don't. So then that started, but then 3 months after that, the beer virus hit, and so the gym ended up getting shut down. And so then I had to go back to like home exercises. And that's when I bought like the Iron Gym, which I did like in my late teens, early 20s a little bit. It's just a pull-up bar that you hang on. And so that's I love doing pull-ups. It's like my favorite exercise is pull-ups. And I read stuff all the time, like, oh, it's not good. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And I kind of don't care. I like doing it. It keeps me active. I feel like I'm getting results. I know I'm stronger, you know? And my goal weekly is typically 3 days a week is my goal, to get works out at least 3 days in the week. I prefer to work out in the morning versus after work. And then after leaving California, now living here in Missouri, out here where I purchased the apartment I'm renting, it has a gym on campus. And so there's a small gym here. It has kind of everything you need though. And like there's a squat rack,
Tanning bed.
There's tanning bed. There's, the pull-up bar, stuff like that. There's the super with the cables and stuff like that, where you can do like a bunch of different exercises, open flies and stuff like that. So I've been trying to acclimate myself into there, trying to do with the bench and things like that as well. And so and I like to mix it up for myself. So I also still have my pull-up bar. I've got a couple 20-pound weights. I've just recently purchased a what's it called? Not a balance ball, but
Medicine ball.
Not a medicine ball.
Workout ball.
Workout ball, the big ones, the 55 centimeters. Yeah, I was actually going to use it as a seat for the computer, because that's actually really good for you, but it's too small. So I just use it for like crunches and doing some like other more different weights. See, I don't even know the names of these, like the exercises. I'm that like gym retarded. And so
you're gonna get us banned.
Didn't say it.
Almost said the R word.
Almost, but I didn't. So anyway. So I'm constantly changing things up. I just do what's fun to me, what doesn't hurt. And my goal is 3 days a week. So, and then when it was summer, the swimming pool here was open. With the grotto, just kidding. No, it wasn't I don't live at the Playboy Mansion. And so I was doing swimming. I was doing a lot more swimming then, which is like my absolute favorite exercise is to swim. And if nothing else, I typically do at least like a half-hour walk around the property daily, if nothing else. So to me, it's more about staying active than anything. There's certain gains I want, and there's a certain physique I want. But it's really easy to get all stressed out and stuff like that. And it's like, I've barely been working out for maybe consistently year and a half, year and 8 months, something like that. And I can already tell I look better to myself and like the self-esteem, I feel
awesome.
better. I like feeling strong, I like feeling stronger, and to me, people talk about goals, and I feel like I'm just not at a point yet of like really digging into like goals and what I really want to accomplish. I want to get used, like you said, building the habit of working out, feeling good.
So how frequently are you getting a workout in? You said you're walking every day around the property, and then how many times a week you actually getting into the gym?
Yeah, so I do like either something at home or I go down to the actual gym. Roughly 3 days a week is my goal.
Good.
About there. And so I work from home, so I understand that's an advantage. And then on breaks, sometimes I'll just pick up dumbbells and just do some curls, or sometimes I'll just do some kettlebell swings on a lunch break, or on a break for work too while I'm here. So it's just about getting it in. And there's what, like 6-minute like ab workouts that you can find on Instagram and things like that. So sometimes I'll look up stuff like that too. My biggest weakness is I like working out almost too much. Like my dream is to have the time to go in there for like 2 hours a day and kill it, like 5 days a week or something like that. That's what I would prefer, which is probably too much to be honest. And so one of the things, I like to go until I feel like I'm about to die. Like I like pushing myself that hard. And maybe that's from cross country. you know, because in cross country, you have to run pretty much until you feel like you're going to die. It's kind of not the goal, but you ended up hitting it that hard. And I'm kind of an extreme person. So yeah, so my big struggle is not necessarily missing a day as it is getting in there and only doing like 45 minutes. Like it kind of like nags on me. It's
I
like,
want to overdo it. Yeah.
well, no, not that I want to overdo it. That's the problem.
But you're fighting that is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you got to go, you should go take a shower. You should at least take like 15 minutes for yourself before you start work, you know, because once you start work, clock in, you're kind of go.
Right.
And so if it's like, I feel bad in myself if I only do a 45-minute workout where it's like, you should have gotten up a half hour earlier. You could have done an hour 15. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah, how different is that than life before when you're like, oh my God, I've only been in here for 20 minutes and I'm exhausted. And now you're like, I wish I'd scheduled more time to work out because I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. Oh, and I hate it when it's a really, really small gym. Like it's gotta be like maybe 15 feet end to end, probably 20. And so like it feels crowded to me if like another person is there and I kind of get annoyed. It's like, I feel like I like the feeling of it being like a private gym. And I look at people because I always see them doing cardio and I'm like, why are you doing cardio? Why are you running? Anyway, speaking of which, I signed up for the EU running 10K. So that's the thing I'm doing anyway.
Ew.
It's called EU running. Yeah, you get a shirt and it has a metrosexually looking man with greaser hair that says EU running. And my sister talked me into it. So me and two of my sisters are doing that. Yeah.
Nice.
Ew.
So Joe, I was going to ask you, you've been an avid cyclist for over 20 years. And then you're down in Sydney, Australia. You guys had some COVID lockdowns, and then you had a like a mandatory individual lockdown because you got exposed at work, right?
Yeah.
So tell people about all the cycling you did in your bedroom on your trainer.
So the first week I rode 320 kilometers in 4 days. So it's not 4 days, it's whatever, how many hours it is. But in that I did a 100-kilometer bike ride on a stationary indoor trainer.
Wow.
In 3 hours and 40 minutes, 3 hours, something like that, three and a half hours.
Non-metric folks, 100 kilometers is 60 miles.
Wow. That blows my mind.
Yeah, I get tired driving.
It was 107 to be honest, Tom. But yeah,
107.
7 Ks. Yeah,
That's
but yeah. So but yeah, that was the when I was first notified. But then for the whole time that I was in isolation, I think I'd probably ridden close to 800 kilometers in that.
So that's 500 miles.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like you could have easily just taken that time and been like, I'm out.
No. See, one thing, I know Tom was asking me about it the other day, and we touched on it earlier before we recorded. I find that when I wake up, I don't lie in bed and think about, do I go out? Don't I go out? I just get up and I do it, because the longer that you spend in bed, the more time you have to talk yourself out of doing an exercise as well. You know what I mean? Because you start going, oh, it's windy. Oh, it's warmer. Oh, I'll go out later, which never happens, So.
Well, I mean, it's sorry, Joe. It's like that thing that, like, well, whether you believe it or not, you're right, right? It's like you could. That's just like the talking yourself into something or out of something. Either way, you're right. You can always build the argument or rationalize your decisions. So,
of course, but I do say as well, nutrition does play a big part, and I've always said, I don't train so I can eat. I eat so I can train. Because a lot of people, that, you know, their end goal is to go and do that 100-kilometer bike ride and lose, you know, burn 2,000 calories so they can eat that big piece of chocolate cake at the end of it. You know, they try and justify, yeah, but I did 200, you know, I did 100-kilometer bike ride or a 50-kilometer bike ride. But, you know, I'm the opposite. You know, by me eating the way that I do, I'm able to train and recover every day. And, you know, looking at my logs, training logs, that is. Yeah, I had to correct myself. Looking at my training logs, you know, the intensity is the same the whole way. So on average, for the past 7 weeks, on average, I'm doing 350 kilometers a week on average. So yeah, very consistent.
And you're an average size guy, and you're eating about, what do you eat, a couple kilos worth of meat a day?
Yeah, look, I've started eating leaner, and I find that by eating leaner meat, I don't tend to eat as much. But there was a stage that I was eating 1.5 kilos of meat a day. It's a lot. It's a lot of meat.
So that's a little over 3 pounds for us non-metric folk. Yeah, it's a lot. I think Joe might be the biggest eater of us all. What are you eating? How much are you eating these days, Emily?
2 pounds of meat and fat. So I eat about 50% fat and 50% meat. So 1 pound of fat and 1 pound of
gotcha.
meat.
And Emily's average size, right? You're not real tall or anything, right?
5'8". I'm 5'8" and 145.
Yeah. And
but
Justin,
I just want. I just want to throw. But now that I'm eating leaner meat, leaner cuts of meat and ground beef, I'm eating about 800 to 900 grams a day of meat. So it does fill me up a lot more.
And you throw in some eggs and stuff too, right?
Very rare.
You're a chef too, so you're not shy. If there's some seafood around, you'll eat some seafood, right?
Yeah, I had oysters yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, a lot, you know, when you eat seafood or something like that, does it seem to throw you off at all? I mean, do you notice any differences? No. Digestion, energy, mood, craving?
No. The only thing that will throw me off is chicken. If I eat chicken, it really upsets my stomach. And for some reason, after I eat it, I always need to go have a lie down.
Well, chicken is a weak bird.
So
it's a little inside joke between me and Pavel Sasalin, right? 9 million other people saw that podcast. Anyways.
So what about you, Tom? What do you do for your workout?
Well, I was talking about, I love lifting. So, and I wanted to mention, because I do not like crowded gyms. I find like a lot of people distracting, and then of course you go into some mega gym and it's half fashion shows. Like everybody's worried about their outfits and weird accessories and their funky shoes and stuff. You know, it's like, so
wait. You're talking to us about funky shoes in our audience? They haven't seen your shoes. I think you talked about your shoes.
Well, I wear gym shoes, so you know, I don't, you know, but you know how it is. It's like a lot of the big gyms do. I mean, it's a mix of like people socializing, and then there's some people there that are actually there to work out, you know, and it's like, yeah, the socializing tends to get in the way. I'm not opposed to talk to somebody, but if I want to talk to somebody at the gym, it's usually about working out, you know. It's like learning something new from somebody. But I like the smaller gyms. I don't necessarily have the selection equipment, but I worked at the Anytime Fitness in Covina. It was great. I walked there from my office in the middle of the day for a break when nobody was there or hardly anybody was there. You know, I found these holes in the schedule when it's just not that many people, and I really like that, because today I went to the gym really quick, but I was doing squats on the rack and I was doing leg presses, and there were so few people there. I could use even though they're on opposite sides, I could use them both, and nobody else wanted to use them, you know, and that's another advantage, because sometimes I'll tie up 3-4 machines or whatever. I might be doing the sitting pull and then pull downs and some other cable work and doing tricep pulls and stuff, and they're all set up on different machines. But if you go to a gym that's relatively empty, then you're not in anybody's way. Hogging up 3 or 4 machines isn't a problem, you know. And sometimes people want to work in, you know, so even people that you know maybe don't lift as much as I do. I mean, a lot of times I'm in the gym, that I'm the oldest person there by 20 years or or more. So
Wow.
a lot of people are younger, and you know, they're not lifting as much. But if you're using the cable machines, adjusting the weight is really easy, right? You're just pulling a pin out and moving it. So and then sometimes you find somebody who like does like a heavy leg press. You load the sled, which can take forever and hog up a lot of plates. So if you can find somebody else who wants to do a lot of weight, that can be handy. So because splitting it 2 ways is a lot better than loading all those plates yourself. But I like the smaller gyms, and I don't really think I pay that much more to join. And like Anytime is like a franchise network or whatever, so they're all over the place. When I went on vacation, I looked, and sure enough, even little towns in the Midwest had 1, 2, 3 Anytime locations. And you can, after you've been a member for a month, I think you can go to any one of them you want. So it's nice on the road too. But for me, it was developing the habit a long time ago. Was my incentive in the beginning was really to get to closer to the office before traffic got bad, because I used to work out in the morning before, and that's really what got me started. I didn't enjoy it as much then because I was on the wrong diet. You know, I was just eating wrong. It didn't matter how many protein shakes I chugged or how many pre-workouts I was taking. A lot of it was miserable. And but now I love lifting, and I realized that when I couldn't work out, how much I missed lifting. So when I got back, and like Emily, I was carnivore for a little over a year before I went back to the gym. And I'm not, you know, it takes me a while to talk myself into doing stuff like that, like finding a new gym. You know, it's like the thought is, you know, I don't I had to that's when I figured out, like, oh, if I could find a gym that's not real busy and on time slots when there aren't that many people there, that'll make all the difference in the world for me. You know, other people don't care, right? So some people want to go and be more social. But anyways, when I figured that out, and I was like, I get back in the habit, I'll go every day, because I'm more like I probably go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week, most weeks. I have something I want to do every day. I don't do the same things every day, but usually I get out of the car from after work, and I go now after work because that fits my schedule. And I've been in the car so long that I always start with cardio, do some warm up on the treadmill, because my legs are stiff from sitting in the car, you know. And even though I don't have that muscle pain I had, you know, years ago, like my muscles would burn for days sometimes, and I don't have that anymore. But I do get a little bit of soreness, and I do stiffen up when I don't move around. So like if I'm sitting in the car for an hour and a half, I go to get out of the car, and I am stiff, but like I limber up in, I don't know, 5 minutes or whatever, I'm good to go. So I usually do some cardio in the to warm up, then I go lift. And then a lot of times I come home and I walk the dog afterward too, because if anything, I walk the dog out of guilt, because I feel bad for the dog because the
Aw.
dog doesn't get to get out, you know. And you know, and not and we all know go for a walk is probably one of the best things you can do, you know. So, and I always wear headphones and stuff like that. um you know, I'm actually looking for glasses I can wear in the gym, just to cut out some of the lights, especially like if you want to do bench press and you're laying on your back.
I
Those
hate
lights are
that.
like so intense, you know. It's like they make your eyes water, and I can't quite get myself to close my eyes when I'm doing bench press, because I've dumped the weights before, and I don't think I'll ever get over it. I've dumped the bar both doing squats and the bench and stuff like that. And like this place has got mirrors all the way around. And I can only imagine if I lost the bar there, I would smash all kinds of mirrors all over the place. And that's the things that nightmares are made of, right? Probably murder like 12, 25-year-olds in the process, just covering them with glass shards and stuff, right? So anyways, yeah, that's what I do. But I think it's like, you know, Joe loves cycling, Justin loves doing pull-ups, Emily's enjoying her beach body workouts, you know, fits. And I think that's, you know, key. Find something you can enjoy. You know, maybe you like to just go for a walk. Maybe it's a good place to go hiking where you live. So you put your snake gaiters on and you head for the hills. Or, you know, I do some training with backpacks. Like I have bags I fill with sand. Sand is cheap. So if you don't have a lot of money for equipment, you can go to the hardware store and get a bag of sand for $5. And then I have some tool bags.
By the way, that's 50 pounds of sand.
50 pounds.
$5. It's not like you just get a little bit. No,
Oh yeah, it's 50 pounds. And then you just take a backpack or something, put the sandbags in there. I got some other sandbags that are actually for like tripods, and they're kind of nice. They look like saddlebags. They've got handles on them, so you can use them for working out, or you can throw them in a backpack and take your dog for a walk and get a little. I wear a backpack on the treadmill at the gym too. I have a big bag with all my gear in it for the gym, all my gloves, my water bottle, my belt, I use a pad for squatting. I put all that stuff in there. When I'm on the treadmill, I'm always wearing a backpack, so I'm doing a little extra, you know, and you get used to it. I noticed when I was down in Santa Monica at the pier, there's a long ramp up and down from the street level down to the pier, and I noticed I was buzzing right up that ramp, and everybody else is like, oh God, you know, because it's like 100 yards uphill, you know, for the average person. That was slow them down, but I was like, I could do this all day. And I know that's just from doing a little extra, you know, staying strong. So, yep, you find what you do and develop the habit, you know, schedule it, you know, hold yourself to it, you know, pat yourself on the back when you get it done. Or if, as David Goggins would say, put that cookie in the cookie jar. So it's there when you need it later, when you're digging deep, when you're pedaling up that monster hill. You got to dig into that cookie jar, right, Joe?
Well, yeah, I mean,
jerky jar.
The jerky, yeah, not the
Jerky
cookie
jar.
jar. Jerky.
Jerky jar. Yeah.
Unless it's a meat cookie.
Meat cookie, yeah. Well, and when the first lockdown started, Justin, BNS, and Ray, and maybe Charmaine, we were all challenging each other to do push-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Somehow Justin let Charmaine talk us into trying to do burpees, which I'm still mad at him about, but she's still.
There's a lot of burpees in the Beachbody on demand stuff. There's a lot of burpees in that.
Burpees are, you know, the problem with burpees is they discriminate against clumsy people, and for that reason I think we should get some laws banning burpees. I'm just saying.
It just brings me back to middle school health class or like PE or whatever.
You did burpees in middle school?
Did, yeah.
He's 20.
I don't think they'd been invented
yet.
30.
I know, you're 30.
Yeah, for us old folk, I don't think burpees were invented yet, or they didn't have a name. My generation would have never named them burpees. I can tell you that right now.
I always, it was funny in middle school, I always thought they were called burpees because I always wanted to like vomit like while doing them. Yeah. I always thought they were called burpees. Yeah.
Burpee.
Speaking of vomiting, I got a vomit story. So
great.
my buddy at the gym, his name's Roman, and he's there with his I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife, but they work out together, which is nice. And he's actually a bodybuilder, so he's training for a competition. We might even have him on the show soon. I've been talking to him about it. So anyways, he's telling me, oh yeah, she almost threw up the other day. And I was trying to tell her that, you know what, throwing up at the gym, it's kind of a badge of honor. It's like putting a meat cookie in the jar, you know. I said, you throw up at a bar, you're just not going to be wanted back. You threw up at the gym, it's kind of like a badge of honor, right? I mean, if you work out hard enough, Joe, how many people have you seen throw up cycling?
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
I've seen one guy, he's had blood come out of his nose from pushing that hard. Yeah. In a race.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a brutal sport.
Wow.
Yeah. We might wear spandex, but we're not soft.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're gonna throw up, would you rather throw up because you're trying too hard or because you were weak and sickly? Just saying.
True.
Mm.
True.
See, that's how I like to do it. I like to work out till I'm nauseous. Then I'm like, okay, that's good.
That's definitely not my goal, but it does happen occasionally.
And dizzy. Got to be dizzy and nauseous. That's how you know you've done it
No.
right.
No.
Oh, and we forgot to do the disclaimer. This is not health advice. Always speak to your doctor before committing to starting, planning any kind of fitness program, exercise, what have you. There you go. Do that.
There you go. Good job, Justin. I was looking out for our legal interests.
Yes. I am your lawyer. Just like from Fear and Loathing. Yeah.
Right. So anybody else got anything else they want to say? Find something, because like Emily mentioned, man, it wasn't so much that we feel like everybody needs to work out, but when you get on the right diet, you want to work out, right? Yeah, we've all noticed that when we change our diet, then we felt like being more active. So if you don't feel like working out, you're probably on the wrong diet. It's probably the problem.
It allows you to work out more and harder because you recover quicker.
Yeah, and you just feel
and you're
like
not
doing it.
hurting.
Nope.
Yeah. So everybody out there, make a little plan to stay active, find something you enjoy doing, do it at home, do it at the gym, do it in the outdoors, do it
in the
wherever you can.
road.
What's that? In the road?
Do it in the road.
Do it in the
Beatles
road.
song. Do it in the road. Is it the Beatles song? I swear it
No.
is. No.
Nope.
Anyway,
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that one, buddy.
in the comments, if that's the Beatles song, do it in the road. I swear it's a Beatles song.
So people out there made it this far, let us know how you got started or what you're interested in doing to stay active, you know, even during lockdown. Maybe you're going to be on your trainer. Maybe you're going to set up a home gym. Maybe you're going to get some sandbags. Maybe you're going to use the Beachbody app. Maybe you're going to follow somebody on YouTube. But let us know what you did to get through the COVID lockdown. Let us know how you felt and how you felt like doing more and how you recovered faster. And until next time, eat some meat, feel better. Whatever you do,
Don't
Don't fall down
the
the carb hole.
carb hole.